Hey there, it's good to see you. I hope that you've enjoyed your day today. Thank you for taking time out to watch this video and also for your patience and waiting for me to upload this. Get ready with me. This is my fall inspired go-to look. I've fallen in love with quite a few things from my collection, so I'm happy to share that with you. But thank you so much above and beyond for your patience and waiting for me to post this because it's been crazy. Just this past week, my husband and I had our bank account completely drained by some yo-yo deciding to go on a shopping spree, so that's been pleasant to deal with. And also to just trying to get this filmed and uploaded. There is something in the communication between my camera and iMovie. I've had to film this several times, so fortunately this time it took. But the struggle has been real, and on top of it, adding the cherry to the sundae, my son got strep throat, so I've needed to be available to him to get him back to his happy-go-lucky self. So here we are. In fact, I tried to start filming my foundation and it cut off on me. So if you're curious what I'm wearing for foundation, I have a combination of the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer mixed with a little bit of the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur Foundation in the shade Nude Beige. This Nude Beige is my summer shade. It's getting to the point where it's slightly too dark for me, but I'm making it work for what's left because I can start seeing the insides of the tube. So I just have a combination of those. I put them on the back of my hand before applying them to my face with a dampened Real Techniques sponge. I've really been trying to give Real Techniques a fair shake. I love the sponges, but man, they don't hold up very well. This has been my fourth sponge to go through within the last couple of weeks because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I'm saturating with water, not oversaturating them, but whenever I try to wash them, they explode or they crack as I'm using them on my face. Like, this has been a couple of days worth of use, so I feel like I'm gonna have more success with this one, but seriously, like, they keep falling apart on me. It sucks. So as far as the next part of my routine goes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer in the shade Neutral Medium. This concealer goes a very long way. It's one of the items in my Finish 6 by Christmas items that I've chosen to pan. So all I do with this one, if you're curious how to use this, if you have it in your stash, I take the tiniest amount and just put it on my ring finger. Like, literally, that's all I need, and this is gonna be too much. But I like to rub it in between my ring fingers to warm it up because this concealer is so thick and it's very emollient. And then I take it and make those triangles under my eyes. This is a very heavy duty concealer. In fact, I really can't use it on the rest of my face. I know Kristen talked about this too, that it's just so thick. It really works well for your under eyes if you have any type of darkness or if you have any puffiness. But as far as like covering up blemishes and things like that, you might want to go with a little bit lighter weight concealer. I'm kind of curious to try the Tarte Maracuja concealer after I finally finish this one, but this tube is going to take me quite a while, even though I do have some progress in it. So I'm gonna let that kind of settle in to my skin, and I'm gonna go through and prime my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Excuse me. I've really kind of wanted to change from just using tube eye primers, so this has been kind of a refreshing switch. I don't know if it really helps my eyeshadow to last all that much longer, because I feel like out of eye primers I've tried, kind of my holy grail is the Wet n Wild Take on the Day eyeshadow primer, followed by the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer. But I had this MAC Paint Pot. I've really been wanting to give it a go since I hear it hyped up so much on YouTube. And it really is a nice color. If you're wondering if Soft Ochre is a little too yellow, because I know Painterly is really more of a beige tone. I felt like that was going to be too dark, but Soft Ochre really is ideal for canceling out any kind of discoloration on your eyes. And then what I'm going to go through and do next is I'm going to go on and set my face with the Laura Geller Filter Finish Setting Powder in Universal. This powder is kind of intimidating. As you can see, it's got different colors of peach, yellow, purple, and green to cancel out different imperfections on your face. You have to be really careful with this powder because it's very, very shiny. I mean, it looks heavy-handed and overkill if you're not watching yourself as you put it on. So Basically, I'm going in with an e.l.f. Kabuki brush. I swirl it around a couple of times, knock off the excess, and then I'm gonna just go through and very lightly powder my face because it is very dewy and finish if you're not careful. Ideal for summer looks, but definitely a little too angelic if I'm heavy-handed with it. But it is a nice powder if you're wanting to try something different. I'm so sick of translucent powders, to be honest, or like the normal white, yellowy based powders. I wanted to do something completely different. And this is offering me that, but it definitely took some getting used to. Okay. So basically now that my face is powdered, I'm gonna go on and fill in my brows. And all I'm doing with that is I love to use eyeshadow. I'm going in with a shade from an old Too Faced Matte Eyes palette called, I wanna say Espresso Bean. My palette, it's this shade right here. It kind of reminds me of the Anastasia brow powder. So I just go through with an eyeliner brush. This happens to be from Bare Minerals. And I hope I'm still in frame when I do this because I have a really hard time seeing without my glasses. But basically I just go through and fill in. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time seeing from this far away, so I'll be right back in just a second after I'm done filling them in. Okay, brows are done. Now it comes to my favorite part of makeup application, the eye makeup. What I'm going to do is I'm wearing an orange shade in my transition area, which is really out of my comfort zone. It's taken me some getting used to, but I love it. So one of the things that I've done to help make it a little bit easier for myself is I go through with a boring, basic, you know, creamy beige shade on a fluffy brush. This happens to be the e.l.f. Creaseless Concealer Brush, or Flawless Concealer Brush. You can find it for $3 to $6 at Target. I don't remember off the top of my head. But basically I'm gonna go through and sweep this over my entire eye area just to kind of tone down that orange once I put it on, and also it helps it to set the MAC paint pot. I've noticed I have to set it, whereas with other eye primers I don't have as much issue with creasing and transfer, but this seems to help, and it's helping me go through a little bit more eyeshadow, so bonus, always a bonus. I'm gonna go through on the other side and just sweep that over my entire eye area. And then as far as this look goes, I really wanted to have a gold base on my lid, but to go more on the white gold side. So one of the ways that I achieve it is I'm going through with the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Moonlight. I love this shadow pencil. It looks more champagne in the tube. I think I got a makeup brush here in my eye. But it makes a really beautiful white gold shade when you put it on the lid. So that's basically what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna go through, and it kind of helps my lid to stand out from the hood underneath it, because I know when I don't wear makeup, my eyes tend to just open and all you see is that non-mobile lid space going up to my brow bone. So it helps it be a little bit more prominent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go in with my palette. And also, if you have some of those new palettes, like if you bought the LORAC Mega Pro 3, or you picked up the Urban Decay Ultimate Naked Basics palette, this would be a great way to start incorporating some orange shades. Or if you have the LORAC Mega Pro 2 or the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca Remix palette, those orange shades in there would be beautiful. Or Anastasia has some fabulous oranges. But I'm gonna go through with a flat shader brush with this fiery orange color. I tap it in a couple of times and then tap off the excess because this color is really intense on my eyes. This is from Stila in the No, that shade Fire. And what I do is I start in the outer corner of my crease area and just blend this across using those windshield wiper motions. Just go back and forth, back and forth. And I wanted to share this, but one of the really cool things that I've kind of learned about myself panning the Stila palettes is I have a hard time wearing warm shadows like this, because as you can see on this eye, The orange kind of makes my eye look a little bit swollen and puffy, but when I pair it with cooler tone shadows on top, like the smoky gray we're going to have in just a second, it does wonders for my complexion and makes it very wearable. So if you're struggling to wear oranges or some of those yellows, or you don't gravitate towards those colors because you think they look really weird on your skin, try pairing them with really cool shades. Because I, for one, I have a very neutral skin tone. I can't wear all warm looks because they make me look swollen, puffy, and ill. But I can't wear completely cool looks either because they make me look very corpse-like and deathly. So it's been interesting to learn about myself and realize that as I pan palettes, I really do better using palettes in tandem in order to complement each other instead of just panning one palette at a time. Does that make any sense at all? So I feel like I'm gonna have my focus palette, but I'm gonna constantly be bringing in other shades to round it out, because like when I pan the Naked palette, it was extremely warm. LORAC Mega Pro kind of leaned both ways. It was a warm palette, but had those cooler tone shades like with mauve and slate. And it pushed me out of my comfort zone, like with garnet and gold. And then with Stila, with In the Light and In the Know, combining them together has been such a joy. Over the past 10 months, I've really enjoyed every look that I've created with it, but this by far has been my favorite. So next, what I'm gonna do, I wanted a really white gold lid. This whole look was kind of inspired by Matte Quad that came out with the Tribal collection this past summer. The quad I'm thinking of, I don't remember specifically what it was called off the top of my head, but there was a coral shade, a smoky charcoal, the white gold, and then a cream. So I figured that would be an easy way to incorporate things that I already had in my collection at home. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the shade Opal right here with an e.l.f. C brush. I tap it in, knock off the excess to kind of minimize the fallout from the shadow, and I'm gonna pat this onto my lid like this. And that way there's very little fallout. It adheres beautifully to that Laura Mercier caviar stick, and kind of starts cooling this look down a little bit where it's not so with the orange. Go back through, tap off the excess, and then pat it on to this other lid. And this look, even though it's orange, it's surprisingly neutral with whatever you decide to wear. As far as your lip color goes, you can go in quite a few directions. You can wear reds, you can wear nudes, you can wear deep vampy colors, you can wear berries. It really just all depends on your mood. And if you don't want to go with something as intense as a red orange, you can go with more of a terracotta. Something like this Bare Mineral shade down here. It's not quite as intense as Fire, but as you can see, it still has kind of that orange vibe going with it. So you can go really bold or you can go really neutral, and it looks stunning. So basically, as we go into our crease area, actually, let me do my highlighting first. I'm gonna go through with a fluffy brush, kind of like a MAC 217. I'm gonna go back through with that cream shade that I started off with layering, and I'm just gonna kind of touch up those highlighting areas. I'm gonna do my inner corner and kind of sweep it up into my eyes so that way my eyes stand out a little bit more under my frames. Just kind of touch up that brow bone a little bit. And then go over on the other side, sweep it up, and then touch up my brow bone. And then my favorite part is the crease. Now I have to be a little bit careful because with my hooded eyes, my eyes can look really small if I go too far in. So what I like to do is I go in with this smoky slate shade. You can pick any matte smoky slate shade from your collection. LORAC Pro 2 has that beautiful shade. What is it called? Charcoal, go figure. But this shade right here would be perfect for this look if you have the LORAC Pro 2 palette as well. There are tons of options, but basically I'm gonna go in, I swirl it a couple of times, knock off the excess, and then what I like to do is stamp it into the outer corner of my eye and then sweep that color up into my crease. I don't go too far in because otherwise it makes my eyes look really small, but I have to make it a little bit more dramatic so that you see it under my glasses. Because unfortunately glasses, especially if you have nearsighted lenses, really close off your eyes. It's no fun. So it's a little bit better for us if we tend to be on the more dramatic side with our makeup, and that way you can still see the definition under those frames. Okay, so basically, like I said, just kind of stamp it into the outer corner of your eye and then sweep up that color. You can make it as dark or as sheer as you prefer. I know when I first started the look, I tended to be a little bit more lighter handed because we were still in, well, we still are in like 90, 100 degree weather, so it feels a little silly to be wearing fall makeup, but at this point, I'm ready for it to be fall. Like I'll rock some darker looks. And then I'm gonna go through with a clean eyeshadow brush. This just happens to be from Sonia Kashuk. Kind of blend out those creases a little bit so that you don't have as many harsh lines. And then I'm gonna go through under my eye to catch any fallout with that kabuki brush I used earlier for my powder and just sweep away any fallout. Then next, I'm gonna go through with my trusty MAC Black Track Fluid line that I'm trying to use up, and I'm just gonna line my eyes. I have to get really close into the mirror, so I will be back with you in just a second. Okay, now we're back, and because I have hooded lids, I'm also gonna go in with this shade Ebony from my palette. I'm just gonna set that Black Track Fluid line. So, make sure that I don't have liner traveling into my crease at all during the day, because that is incredibly annoying. These shadows are super powdery if you can't tell. Part of it is because they are so old, so it feels that much more satisfying to be able to use them up and get them out the door. Okay. So there we go with my upper lashes, and I go through once again, sweep away any fallout. And one of my favorite parts right now, I really love shaking up my waterline routine. I usually use a nude pencil, but lately I've enjoyed the Maybelline, what is this? The Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil in the shade Striking Copper. This is beautiful. It doesn't really do a whole lot for my skin because I'm so fair toned, and also too, if I wear it on my skin, it kind of, it looks a little bit weird because it's so orange. As you can see, it's really kind of a bronzy copper orange. So when I wear it in my waterline, it makes my eyes look super brown and gives that, you know, a little bit of added mystery to the look with the pop of color. So I go through and just put that in my waterline. And then I go through with a small liner brush. This is from e.l.f. It is the small angled brush. And I'm going through with that same dark shade I used in my brows. I want to say this is Espresso Bean from the original Too Faced Matte Eyes palette that came in the cardboard packaging. But basically I swirl it, tap it, and then line halfway across my lower lash line to give a little bit of depth, and lining halfway across with my hooded lids helps to round out my eyes a little bit more and make them look bigger under my glasses. Very easy tip. All right, eye makeup is essentially done for right now because I usually put on my mascara last. So what I'm gonna go through and do next is go in with my bronzer. And lately I've been using the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Radiance Ombre Bronzer. This is phenomenal. It has kind of a tri-effect of a lighter, a mid-tone, and a darker bronzer. So what I do is take an angled brush. I swirl it once, knock off the excess. All right, now we're gonna basically go back in with the other side. Just kind of blend those in, go under my chin, do my temples. I really have enjoyed this bronzer. It's such a nice departure from the constant use of matte bronzers. And I like that this is panning relatively quickly because as you can see, the pan on this is really shallow. So it's gonna be really easy to enjoy it every day, but still get through it in a consistent pace. And then the next thing I'm pulling out of my collection, I love this. This is the e.l.f. blush palette in the shade Dark. I really wanted to go with more of an orangey shade of blush. I was using Fire for a little bit, but I really want to savor that as my eyeshadow. So I'm going in with this kind of orangey tone in the top left corner. If you purchase this palette, it's $6 at Target. Seriously worth the value for the money because these are so pigmented. They're a little bit on the powdery side, but that's okay because the color stays well, and I just keep this towards the back sides of my cheeks because it brings in that beautiful orange tone, but I keep it to the back of my cheeks so that it doesn't compete with my glasses and my eye makeup. I love this color of blush. It has just enough orange to anchor down fire in my look, but at the same time, it's not over the top. So I can match this with all sorts of different colors in my clothing. I can wear it with purples, berries, navy, brown, black, you name it. It works really, really well. So it's a great find at the drugstore if you're wanting to have a different kind of blush to shake up your routine. Then another thing that I've been loving, and I've had this in my stash forever, it is the MAC MSF in Stereo Rose. I basically just use this as a blush topper to amp it up and give it a little bit more of a sheen than it has on its own, and it's helping me to use up this MSF out of my collection because admittedly, it's getting on up there in years. And then all I'm gonna do is basically go back in with that same shade that we used in the beginning, and I'm gonna highlight my face. I really love a matte highlight under my glasses because shimmer looks a little bit strange because I have nearsighted lenses and because they can kind of alter the shape of my eyes a little bit. I try to keep my highlights matte to avoid looking distracting under my frames. So I'm basically just going down my T-zone, kind of accentuate those areas, and then I go back through with that highlighting brush, kind of the MAC 217-ish type brush that we used earlier, and I just dust it on my lip, my Cupid's bow area, and then if I need to kind of add a little bit extra highlighting in my inner corners, I'll kind of touch up that area. And then if you feel like you need a little bit more on your brow bone, you can finish that off and have it be very polished. So that's about it for the makeup. And then all I'm gonna do is go through with some mascara. I'm just using the Maybelline Rocket Volume Express Mascara. You can use whatever mascara you're currently favoring right now. I'm just gonna go through and touch this up. If I was feeling really fancy, I'd go on and curl my lashes, but it's always kind of awkward to do that on camera, so. Just going through, do my lower. Lashes and makeup is pretty much done. I'm gonna go through with the Scandinavia makeup finishing spray. I got this in Influencer several months ago. And I've really I'm trying to incorporate it. It's the whole system of having the primer spray and the finishing spray. There are other setting sprays that I like a little bit better, so I wasn't using it as soon as I got it, but I'm trying to move it through my collection. And then, as far as lip colors, I've really been favoring reds with this particular look because it's so easy and it makes it stand out with any fall outfit. But one observation I've made, the lipstick I really love for every day is this Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipstick in the shade Shula. This is a fabulous everyday brick red. But one observation I've made lately, if you are trying to go cruelty-free and you love the MAC Cosmetics matte lipstick formula, you can make a lateral move into the Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipsticks. They feel the same, they taste the same, they have the same texture on the lips, they're on the drying side, but it's literally, it feels, tastes, smells, looks almost identical to the MAC matte formula. So just wanted to share that with you if you're trying to be more mindful of purchases that you bring in, or you're trying to phase out and go with a cruelty-free brand. Okay, but this is the shade Shula. I love this. This look, again, like I was saying earlier, is very versatile. You could pair in nude lips. You could go with an even bolder red, like the one I've been favoring is the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Project Chimps. It's that limited edition shade she just came out with. Or if you want to go really bold with a brown, you could go with something like the Maybelline Bold lipsticks that came out recently. This one is in Coffee Addiction. It's perfect to get more of those brown tones. If I'm not wearing something I feel comfortable pairing the orange with, I'll wear the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in the shade Rum Raisin to get more of the berry effect in there. I mean, tons of options, even though you are wearing Blaze On orange eyeshadow. So I hope you found this video to be very helpful, that you feel inspired to go shop your stash, have fun with it. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on wearing some orange eyeshadow out of your collection. So that's about it. Be on the lookout. I've got some Pan That Palette updates and Crossing 6 off the Christmas Panning List Challenge updates. And I've got a couple other videos that I have in the works to be posted in the very near future. So that's about it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon. See you later.